Yeah, it's the Archivist, y'all. Exclusively back with R.A. the Rugged Man after more than 10 years.
You lost the last interview, this guy. Ugh.
I know, I'm sorry, my man.
Back.
Here.
There's a reshoot from 10 years ago. I got to pretend I think the same. And no, I'm just kidding.
We're going to do a bunch
Shout
of
out to Archivist.
Hell yeah. 50 years of hip-hop. That's what we're doing this year.
All right, there we go.
And who is the legendary supreme lyricist R.A. the Rugged Man?
Oh, I thought you were talking about like Chuck D or somebody. It's me. What's up?
And taking it back to the early 90s, share on the Jive Showcase with Keith Murray, Fushnikins, Hyro, and DJ by Funk Flex, hosted by A Tribe Called Quest.
Oh yeah, Jive Showcase. I started a riot, 700-man riot. Hookers. I brought hookers off the street, duct taped them, but they agreed to it. It wasn't no hostage situation. They agreed to it. They say, hey, I'll give you $50. I'll bring you on my stage show. So we were trying to entertain the fans, and the label didn't think it was very entertaining, and I don't know. A lot of violence happened, and place got shut down. They tried to blame me for a lot of damage, and that's when I was a kid.
And 92 and 93, along with many other legends, share on the connect working with the notorious B.I.G. History was definitely captured.
Yeah, shout out to the Wallace family. Rest in peace to a young boy. I mean, Christopher Wallace was 24 years old. He was on the planet less time than he's been dead. It's crazy. The world is crazy. Time goes by, and now he's still to this day, to many people, considered one of the greatest rappers that ever lived, an iconic figure worldwide. You can go to like any country and you'll see murals of Biggie Smalls, Christopher Wallace, and yeah, I had the honor of being friends and working with him, and being part of his life. So lived a long, crazy life so far. So a lot of stuff went down. Yeah.
And the old days that were crazy in the golden era, your old alias, Crustified Dibs, and the album Night of the Bloody Apes, and American Lowlife with collabs Sadat X, Havoc, and Akinelli.
Yeah, it was all different ones. Yeah. Night of the Bloody Apes had my boy Capital the Crime Lord, Glenn Gibbs, and myself. We did a posse cut of like cats that were on the come up. And I had Notorious Big, and I was planning to do Biz Markie and Eric Sermon, but I don't think we didn't get it done on time. And that was the Jive record. And then American Lowlife was for Priority Records, and that was just the whole, that's early life stuff. A lot of stuff went down, so yeah.
And you've been emceeing at the age of 12. That's when you started?
Maybe even 11. I say 12 sometimes because I think I was better by 12, but I think I was rapping earlier than that. But pretty say 12. And I ended up getting better than most of the people in the neighborhood. 13, 14, I was one of the best out there in Long Island. They'd take me to Brooklyn, to wherever the hell I had to go, to big house parties, and I would just battle everybody for my whole childhood. That was my childhood. And then we got in the studio, and I ended up being good in the studio. I found a great producer called Mark Niles, and he was working with Two Nights, which was an Arista group, and he taught Eric Sermon how to use the W30, which was Eric's machine after that, the bass. Just a machine. He didn't teach Eric to make beats. Eric was already making beats, and he already made iconic beats. I'm just saying the W30 machine. But so that was Long Island. We were surrounded by greatness out there. There was Biz Markie, there was Rakim, there was the whole Charlie Murata studio had EPMD, K Solo, and then Das Effects was coming in, and I mean, there was so many. Public Enemy was out there, and Amityville was De La Soul, and it was just Craig Mack before he was Bad Boy. He was MC Easy and Troop, and my boy Diamond J. He was a DJ for EPMD originally, and he was producing for Craig before Craig blew up. It was it's just one of the greatest places in the world for hip hop that year, and it influenced the whole planet what they did, So I was blessed to be around all these iconic great hip-hop icons before they were icons, a lot of them, you know. So Rakim I didn't know back then. I just knew of him and idolized him, but he was in the same circles, you know, he was around. I just never got to meet him back then. I met him, you know, when I was older in life.
And one of your youngest memories that you have that was one of your starting points that you got to where you got to today pretty much?
Were you talking about industry or street rapping?
Just on the street rapping.
It was about competition. You didn't have like where you didn't, now you could get away with not being very good, you know, you don't have to be very skilled. You can just have a vibe or whatever. You know, this was really like a competitive sport where if you was whack, there was no chance for you. You really couldn't, you know, so you'd be in the streets and anybody whack would get pushed off the stage or, you know, I mean, we was at the house parties, they'd be shooting up the ceilings. Not if you was whack, but, you know, there was gunshots in the houses. But yeah, it was just a different time. It was a competitive sport. So when you go to the house party, everyone would know who destroyed the microphone, who destroyed it, who was the great at the party. And, you know, maybe somebody was maybe almost as good as second or third best, but like, that was the thing. Go to the house party, be the best, destroy everybody, be the best rapper. And when it was a sport, almost like boxing, you know, or race on a track, you know, like who's running fastest. It was kind of more like, now it's be like, you can be terrible because I like it. You can be terrible too. I mean, you're allowed to be terrible in rap, and in that era you couldn't be.
Were you at that battle with KRS when everything went down with Brother J of X-Land?
No,
oh, okay.
No, I wasn't there for that. I wasn't there for a lot of it. You know, I was young in the '80s. I was young, you know. I was there when Craig G beat Super Nat at the rap convention in New York City. I was there for that. Everybody was surprised because Super Nat was like the guy at the time. Like everybody shut your phones off. But yeah, Super Nat was that guy. And Craig, Juice Crew legend, was rapping since 14 years old on record. And a game changer, these guys. He was part of Marley Marl's Juice Crew. He's excused because it's my crew.
I apologize.
I thought it was your crew, and I was like, yo, Archivist is amateur with these people.
No,
no,
I even turned it down.
I'm the amateur. That's my boy's phone.
And conquering the NYC battle scene, any moments that you would like to share?
Nah, you know, I was a kid and it was great, and some of my best memories, it was something I was natural at. I rapped better than everybody as a kid. It's something that I was born, it was just a weird thing. Like, you know, other kids in the neighborhood tried to rap, some of them, and I just was better at rapping than people, so. And now here I am 100 years later, still better at rapping than people, you know, so I don't know why that happened or what the plan was, why I am that guy that could just rap motherfuckers, but that's what it was since I was a little boy.
And many superior cuts from Till My Heart Stops, Casanova, A Star Is Born, Kill It. Share what inspires your lyrical brainchild.
Most of those songs you just named, I hate. Those are songs when I was like, well, you know, people see what they want in music, though. Those were songs where I didn't really have money to sit in the studio the way I wanted to. I was kind of broke and beat up, and you know, I couldn't get the mixes I wanted. I couldn't get the choruses I wanted. I couldn't sit there, instrumentation I wanted. I couldn't get, you know, musical bass. Now, when I sit in the studio, I can really make things I'm proud of, that I get to make sound the way I want it to sound, and the mixes to sound perfect for me. But you just named songs that weren't that. Those stuck out for you. So that's the thing with music. Certain things stick out for certain people. So I used to have this thing where I would diss my old songs, which I almost just did. I just almost did it now. It's a bad idea to diss your own music because fans out there like certain songs you might not like. So I say that all the time. Just let the fans decide what they mess with, you know.
And the sound bombing days, anything come to mind as being featured on all 3 compilations? That's pretty sick.
Well, I didn't think nothing of sound bombing and raucous at the time. Like now, people, oh, sick, it's classic. But at the time, I thought it was beneath me because I was, you know, in my mind, I was big. I was the best, and I was messed up in the game. I was blackballed. I was sued. everything was going spiraling downhill for me career-wise, and sound bombing came along. I'm like, I'll do it. You know, I need the money, and you know, and now you didn't expect 25 years later people be like, that's classic, that's sick that you're part of that. You know, I never thought, I thought this was like me going downward, but it was actually a nice step to get myself back into the discussion again, because you know, I was so down in the dumps and beat up and broken, and when you're young, the industry's very ugly, you know. So when you're a kid, you know, I had 17, 18 years old, labels sending limos telling me I'm the greatest thing in the world. And when you're young, and you know, everybody in the neighborhood, oh, you're the greatest, you know, you got record deals, you're the greatest, you know. So by the time you're 20 and they start, you know, the industry starts becoming the industry, you don't always know how to take that. So I didn't take it very well as a younger man. Now I understand it all. It's like, yeah, you know, people are gonna say this, people are gonna say this. People ride with you when you're great, you know, quote unquote great. People are gonna, even if you are great, people are gonna talk ish about you, and even if you're not great, they'll say good things about you. It is what it is. You just can't let people get in your mind. You got to just create your music the way you want to create it, and you know, make your music off your experiences. And you're good. That's what it is. That's what it's about. It's not nobody's influencing where we take our music. We do what we do, you know. So.
And on to where it all started. Die, Rugged Man, Die. Tell us more about the films and your book, God Take, God Give, and doing more than 150 shows a year. Really?
Well, Die, Rugged Man, Die isn't where it all started. That was like years and years and years later. Like that was way like. That wasn't where it started. That was almost like the ending at the time. But I don't have a book. I never had a book out. But I was asked to write a book, you know.
Tell us about some of the films that you've been a part of.
Oh, well, my mentor and my idol was Frank Henenlotter. He's my mentor, my idol. I love him to death, like a second father. When I was a young kid, 12, 11, his films were my favorite films. Basket Case, Frankenhooker, Brain Damage. And so when I got a record deal as a teenager, I told the label, hey, track down this man. That's who I want to work with. So Frank took me under his wing when I was about 18 years old. And then he wasn't working anymore, you know. And so years later, I said, you know, why don't I just finance one? I'll tour for a year or two. For that particular film, Bad Biology, I was playing the producer role. I wanted to give the director his freedom for his vision as producer. Whatever he needs, I'm going to get it for him, and that was my job on that film, Bad Biology. But right now I'm working on a new film where I'm going to direct, write, and I wrote it. The script is getting like this ridiculously positive. People really love this script. So got some great actors attached, and we're figuring out where to film it right now. You know, we were originally going to film it in Belgium, then maybe Berlin, then maybe Munich, then maybe Canada. We got the financing. I'm going to look for more financing, and we're just figuring out location and what's the right place for the best buck, you know.
And all the way since we go back over a decade, the craziest thing that you've done in your career, or a fan that has ever done, and the best collab that you've put down with.
The craziest thing I ever did in my career is letting Arkovic in my room right now, and no, I'm not gonna want me to put myself in jail. What's the craziest thing I ever did? No, I had stalkers too, crazy stalker females, crazy that like fly all around the world and try to find you, crazy shit. But stalkers are definitely. But there's crazier, you know. I had to fight off 1,000,000 people, me by myself. I mean, I don't know. You know, most of the crazy stories, people come up to me and remind me of them, and I go, oh, that did happen. There's so many crazy stories in my life. I had a crazy life.
Like the time in Oklahoma?
I don't know what that is, yeah.
When the cops tried to shut down the show, like...
Oh, you're talking about... No, that wasn't that crazy. That was
okay.
Pretty standard. The cops tried to shut me down. That's pretty standard, yeah.
All right.
But are you talking about the gathering?
Yeah.
Of the Juggalos? That's the thing is, I'm stubborn. If you try to shut my show down, I want to keep going. Don't you know? Fans are here. We're all here. Let's rock. So the Juggalos were there. It was my first time playing the gathering of the Juggalos, and they've been asking me for years to do it. and I'm about 10 minutes into my set, and they try to shut off the sound system, and the cops shut it down, and I wasn't going for it, so I kept rocking. Yo, you guys are all slow. Like, are you serious? I don't know who that was now. But yeah, who was it?
Was it me?
It's my crew again? What the? I'm the most amateur interviewer. That one was my crew.
That's what happens when you do it in the fucking room, though.
Yeah.
Come on now.
And the best collab that you put down?
Oh, there's so many. You know, I like everything I did with Woo guys, Woo affiliates especially. Like, I like collaborating with Hellraiser and Timbo. I really like those, and Killer Priest. And Killer Priest to me is one of the most vivid picture painter, lyrical artists that ever lived. Like the way his mind works with his pen is just so, and he doesn't have a commercial flow, so like commercial people don't understand how deep his lyricism is, you know? He can rap commercially if he wanted to in a certain commercial style, but lyrically I don't think there's many on his level of picture painting, so I always love working with Priest. And I mean, there's so many. Cool G-Rap, of course, is like my idol. And every time I work with G-Rap, you know, it just makes me feel like a little kid, like almost intimidated by him, you know, because I look up to him so much, you know. So.
And when we first met back in the Richard and Richard days, when you were with Sean Price and Ill Bill, do you have any memories on Sean Price's legacy?
Oh man, Sean is probably the funniest personality ever, and you know, not just hip hop. He was just a one of a kind. Just so funny. He was always light up the room. It was almost like, because I'm known to be a funny MC, you know, I got a good sense of, well, debatable, but I have a sense of humor. And I was like, damn, Sean's funnier than me, man. He's way funnier than me. Sean had jokes and personality, and he was just a funny man, and a good man, and a down-to-earth man. Like, that's why people loved Sean, because it was like, dude, come on. Just shut that off. Yeah, the reason people love Sean is because he is so down to earth, and it felt like we lost like one of us.
Yeah.
He wasn't no like I'm bigger than rap type of dudes. He was like I'm one of y'all. I'm one of y'all. You know, like he just was in the pits with us. You know, in the underground with us, and made legendary records. You know, was in legendary groups. And was one of the best on the mic, so we all miss and love Sean a lot. Like anybody that knows him, almost like just he was one of those guys. And when people die, people say, "Oh, we all no." He was all one of a kind. There's no MC like him ever in rap.
And we're gonna go to the Uncommon Valor, Jedi Mind Tricks, on the collaboration. Let us know.
Yeah, this was a song I wrote with. Paz did the first verse. I did the second verse. And it was about my father. It was a true story. Oh, he wants me to show it. It was a true story, and you never know what's going to happen. And when we recorded it, it just got a great reception, and the world really went crazy for it. And in some people's minds, it's one of the greatest verses ever written in history. You know, and I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is the people. I get those comments all the time, and highly respected lyricists say it all the time that it's one of the greatest verses ever in rap. You know, that's for the people to decide. But I'm glad that my father's represented in it, and it's about my father, and it keeps my father's name alive. So, very proud of being able to tell my daddy's story. You know?
And back in the M&L days, the Monday Night Live, when we did our first interview, and you were there for Snack's birthday. Tell us about the collab with Snack the Ripper.
Well, I wasn't a big fan of this one. This one, like I wasn't a fan of Snack at this time, and they paid me some money for this one, and I was like, yeah, sure, whatever, and I just went in the booth and rapped whatever the hell was in my head. Then years later, Snack grew up and became a better person. He was, you know, when I knew him, he was, you know, like me. Like in my youth, I was an asshole. So I think when I first originally knew Snack, he was an asshole, you know. And then he just matured, got smarter, and and it turned into a very likable guy. I really like Snack a lot. I think he's really smart. We did another song together called Knuckle Sandwich, which is a way better than this one, and we did a video for it and everything, and I'm proud of that song. I think it's a dope song, and I really like being around Snack. We had dinner together after the video shoot when we shot the video, and I think he's a good, smart guy, and he's funny, you know. So it's funny how life could just, you know, get past a couple bumps, and then we could mature a little bit and be just better people, you know. So.
And how is the relationship working with Nature Sounds?
Well, I'm still there, right? Shout out to Nature, shout out to Matt, and you know, sometimes you go, oh, I wish they would do more, because you know they don't spend that much on promo and pushing you, but they're smart. They know that they work with artists like myself who kind of sell records for them without doing outsourcing for promotion. They do all in-house. It's Devin and Matt. And, you know, they put up with a lot of RA shit for 2 decades. You know, I was in the ups and downs, the mental downs, and they'll see me at my lowest, they'll see me at my highest, and they put up with a lot of RA shit. So I love you guys, man. I love Matt, I love Dev. Right now the books look clean, but I love the guy. I love them both. They've been on my corner for too many years, you know, so yeah. And scratch that. I don't want to make a false accusation.
No problem.
No, you don't got it. I'm saying you can keep it in there. They know I'm a dick. Matt and Devin worked with me enough to know I'm a dick. So, but you get the idea, you know. But much love to Nature Sounds.
And one of your best accomplishments as R.A. the Rugged Man, we know you love boxing, but what makes a perfect TKO?
Perfect technical knockout? What, in boxing or rap? What do you mean?
Rap. Battling.
I think a clean knockout is better than a technical knockout. Just knock them out cold, let them be boom, comatose on the ground, you know, type. Not in boxing. You don't want to make nobody comatose, but in rap, you know, you want to be able to put them to sleep, you know. Don't make it, don't let the fans decide, because the fans are delusional, you know. Put them to sleep, knock them out.
And we're at 50 years of hip-hop. What's one of the best moments that you've had since the year of 1973 to 2023?
1988, you know, it's when you know, it was the entire Juice crew, Marley, Biz, Kane, Coogee Rap. It was Public Enemy, it was Ultramagnetic MCs, it was Jungle Brothers, it was MC Light. Queen Latifah had her vinyl out, you know, I don't think she had the album out yet. I mean, Slick Rick. It was just like, the list goes on and on and on and on of how much. Super Lover C has one of my favorite flows of all time, but it's just a long list of great albums and great music, and it was all Rakim. It was all music that changed hip-hop forever. Everything you see in the 90s, like the Nas, the Wu-Tang, the Puns, all of that stuff, Mobb Deeps, we love it, but it was all already done in the 80s, in 88, but they all learned from that and kind of did their interpretation of it. It's when rap was really just turning into what it was and finding new ways to do it and communicate, and this was a time when you couldn't have the same style for 20 years. Like now you could have the same style for 20 years, and it's all good, and I'm not complaining about that, but at this time, you couldn't do that. You had to change your style, you had to update where you were going with it, and that's what hip-hop was doing. It was just originating and pioneering sounds that no one was doing.
And Legendary Classics, how did it move for you?
Well, Legendary Classics was, you know, I had all this music out, and I said, let's put a compilation out, you know. I'm always thinking about doing a part 2, part 3, part 4. I have so much music just sitting around on clips. I could do hundreds of them, you know, so.
And then Legends Never Die.
Yeah, this was, at the time, my favorite album when I did it, and it was basically dedicated to my father. My father had passed, and I promised him, in death, I was going to make my daddy proud. So, and I was touring a lot, so I was able to sit in the studio with my engineer, Chris Conway, for as long as I wanted to get this album right. And I did. I got it right. I'm very, very proud of this album, Legends Never Die. And I know I did great work on it, you know. And this was the first time I had full freedom to do what I want, take as long as I want, and put out something I'm proud of. And that's Legends Never Die. That was one of those, you know. And the next album after that too.
Right.
Know.
And through the pandemic, I was collecting a lot of music, and I remembered about our time and what we shared. And so I was collecting some of your music, and I was looking for things, so that's why I wanted to bring it forth. And so let's get into the next one, R.A. the Rugged Man, All My Heroes Are Dead.
Yeah, this is
long and anticipated.
This to me is my greatest work at this moment, and this was more dedicated to my children. The album before was dedicated to, you know, the man I loved more than anything in the world, my father, and it was more about death. Legends Never Die. And then All My Heroes Is Dead, ironically, is about life in some way. The past is gone, and my heroes are dead. Let's move it forward, and the back is the children, and it's the best artwork I ever had. I never really had good artwork, and this is that dude designs, and he's a great artist, and he gave me an album cover that just blew my mind. So, and the music, it's another one where I was able to really take my time on it. Chris Conway, my engineer, really helped me make it special. We sat there for months and mixing and arranging and engineering and getting it to sound the way I'd be proud of. And even the intro, like the intro on Legends Never Die, it was dope. I rapped about like the album that they're about to hear, and then I wanted to top that. So then the intro on this is like, it's like 5 beats in one song with 7 different flows, and it's just, you know, I really outdid myself on that one, you know. And then when I finished this one, I was like, how am I gonna outdo that thing? Like, the fuck am I gonna do? Do I have time to sit there in the studio and do all of that? Like, I think I can still. I think I'm gonna outdo myself every year, you know. So.
And one of your best hip hop memories that you've been part of or contributed to as of for the 50 years of hip hop?
Well, I definitely influenced a lot of artists. Whether, you know, even like there are people who know my flows and my style through people who even copied my style, and they don't even know they're copying my style. You know, I influenced a lot of artists for decades and decades and decades, and even more important than that is there's fans all across the world, and you know, I was a degenerate lowlife. That was the idea of who the fuck Crustified Dibs was. So I never thought, oh, my music is gonna save lives, or do this, or do that. But I think, you know, there's people who just come up to me and they're crying and they're hugging me, and their mother had just died, or their father died, or they lost their children. There was a woman who came up to me last night. I almost started crying. Like, I was like, damn. She was like hugging me and crying, or I don't know if she was crying, but she was like, you know, if she wasn't crying, she was damn near close, and she wanted to tattoo my name on her. And she said, you know, my brother died. I relate to your music because my brother died. I said, what happened? And she said, I was 7 and he was 4, and my mother killed him. So I was like, fuck, man. And she was like, so I just want to thank you for everything your music did. And that was just last night. So, you know, so that's, and I'm not saying this is just me. I mean, people go up to atmosphere with that. People go up to, like, music touches people. So, you know, proud of music that was able to do that for some people in the world. That's pretty dope, you know, because we're not here for a long time. And the people we love aren't going to be here for a long time. And it's not always easy to accept the cards you're dealt in life. And some people turn to drugs, some people turn to depression, some people, you know, self-loathing, you know, so we're all just trying to get the fuck by. Even when I see somebody that's angry or something, I used to, you know, you disrespect me, I'll punch you out, you know, but somebody's talking crazy and you go, oh, you know, like, who the fuck knows what the hell happened to them today, you know, or yesterday, or what the fuck is going on in their life? Because I used to get crazy. So, well, not usually, I still do sometimes, but like, and yeah, a lot of the anger comes from the cards we was dealt. So, you know, just a little growth and learn to, you know, all music could do good. Even when we're talking negative, who says it's negative? But like I got nasty songs on here, the Big Snatch, talking about the girl with the world's giant vagina, you know, and it's more like a blowfly, slick Rick type of era of you know, music, and that's not negative to me. Sexual imagery isn't negative, you know. We live in an era where like sex is negative, and it's like, no, it's very positive, especially if you can do it in a fun way and an entertaining way. It's like, stop being, you know, it's not the fucking 1950, oh, pussy, oh, you know. It's like Americans, I don't know if they're like that in Canada, but Americans are so like, oh, fuck it, everything's oh, watch what you say, you know. It's like, god damn, you know.
And for the last 8 years, this is one of the first interviews to come out. I was going through a hard battle of depression. That's why we didn't get to link. And so that's where I was going. What I wanted to ask you is, how did you go battle depression? Have you ever battled that?
Well, no, I battled depression heavy. And like I said, it was because I was, like, as a child, I was one of the best rappers around as a child. So then when, as a teenager, they were all giving me record deals and, you know, boosting me up, and then, you know, I'm the successful guy all of a sudden from this broke ass family. I'm the successful guy, and then, you know, they took it all away from me, and, you know, the industry was very small at the time, you know, and they make phone calls. You can't, you know, there was no internet at the time, and I said, well, the one thing I'm great at in life, the only thing I'm good at in life, I can't even put out. I'm sitting here with no access to nothing. People hate me. People think I'm, you know. Yeah, so my mind went into a dark place of like, where do I go? What do I do? What is my purpose? Do I have a purpose? Should I even be here? You know, so yeah, I went through that. And I was blessed though, because my darkest times was when I was you know, younger. I got beat up by the industry young. So, you know, then as you get older, you go, oh, I've been through that. That's, you know, try to kick my ass again. Go ahead, kick my ass, and it ain't nothing. Just deal with it, roll with the punches, you know. But as far as your depression, you know, I have friends, I have family that can't move, you know, and I was there too. I'd sit in a chair, like, where the fuck do I move today? You can't move, and people go, oh, that's lazy, or this. No, there's a mental thing where you can't move, you physically can't move, and people, of course, you could. No, some people can't move, and it's real. It's really just stuck. How do I move? And it's not, I don't have advice to tell somebody, you do it, because it's like a drug addict, you know. You tell them, hey, get off the drugs. It's not going to work, you know. Get off drugs. There has to be some, you know, they have to be able to build the strength up, or something has to, you know. I don't have an answer. None of us do. If we all had an answer, hey, snap out of it. You're not depressed anymore. Snap out of it. You're off drugs. You know, there's no easy solution to these obstacles in so many people's lives, you know. So.
And the largest crowd you've ever rocked so far, since we haven't linked up in the last 10 years?
I think you know, some of those big festivals, you know, we did some of the real big festivals.
Hip Hop Kemp, 2011?
Kemp was a big one. I don't think was 2011 the biggest one. I don't remember, but Kemp was always big. Kemp always, what was that? I don't know.
Czechoslovakia?
Yeah, no, I know Kemp. I played it 3 times, but last time I played, I think it was with Kendrick Lamar and LP and Big Daddy Kane, I believe was the last time I played it. And yeah, I obliterated the whole fucking set. You know, everybody. You know, well, I'm not gonna, you know, much love to everybody, but I'm on a competitor. And I would never say that about Kane, my idol, and my brother LP. Love you. But no, I did great that show. I really rocked that fucking stage. I really fucking turned it out. You know, and I made sure that I turned it out. Big Daddy Kane's one of the greatest performers that ever lived. He's one of them, like I can't help but Kane is a GOAT performer for 3-4 decades nonstop. So, you know, but I definitely tore everyone else.
And how do you feel about hip hop today versus that new era or new wave?
No, well, the more capitalism gets involved in anything, the more watered down it gets, and the more dumbed down it gets. That's what it is. So you could cry about it and say, hip hop isn't what it used to be. Of course it's not. You know, it's a fucking $100 billion industry, so you're gonna have all this watered down fucking garbage. In the 80s, when it was a hip hop street culture, in the 70s, hip hop street culture, but and they weren't trying to sell to Taylor Swift fans and Beyonce fans and Justin Timberlake fans. They weren't trying to do that. It was hip hop, BDP, Boogie Down Productions. It was like all these great lyricists and party rockers and stage rockers, and it was about the craft. And like KRS One fans didn't have to cater to New Kid on the Block fans. Now it's like, if you don't have the numbers and don't sell to the new kid on the whoever New Kids on the Blocks is today, say who's a big pop guy today?
I can't even tell you, man.
Just name a pop fucking group. Come on. The Weeknd. Ed Sheeran. If you ain't selling to Ed Sheeran fans, you're not as good because you don't know how to make a record. No, motherfuckers don't want to make Ed Sheeran records. No diss to Ed Sheeran, but like somebody wants to make. You think Black Moon is Duck Down? They're gonna go in the studio. Let's try to make an Ed Sheeran record. No diss to Ed Sheeran. Ed Sheeran's a good artist. Respect a Lone Star, his cousin. But what I'm saying is like, now you have to. They want to and. If you look at the track listings will be who is going to generate the most hits. I'm going to do songs with people who get the most clicks, because when they post this song on their social medias, it's going to get way more millions. Rather than me doing a song with Cool G Rap, I'll do one with this really terrible brand new rapper that can't rap for nothing because it's going to get the clicks and they're a celebrity. That's what it is. So that's anything though. That's capitalism 101. It's like, it's about selling to the masses, not to the culture. And that anything, painting, filmmaking, clothing, fashion, any art, when it becomes food, whatever it is, they water it, let's make a McDonald's burger out of it and mass produce it worldwide somehow. And that's where hip hop is. So of course you're going to have, of course it's not as good now. But on the flip side of that is, you do have a lot of great, talented underground kids that aren't relying on the sales because they're putting it on their YouTube channel. You get a lot of kids out there making music, and you get to hear some great rappers. That's the one thing that they can't stop. They can't stop the culture of hip hop. So some of these incredibly dope spitters will still exist, but you have to kind of look for them and search for them. And when you find them, you'll be like, oh my God, there's like monster beast MCs right now. What the hell now? So, but it's a different era,
And anything else to add to our legendary interview?
Yeah, shout out to Canada. I can't wait to do a whole country tour, because a lot of people wanted to hit me up about doing shows all over the country, and I wouldn't mind doing a spring run in Canada or early fall next year where I do 20 cities. I would really like that. So that's my next plan in Canada, do 20 cities.
And you have any shouts?
Shout out to DJ Lala. She's been on this tour with me this whole time, and she's putting up with all the bullshit. This tour had a lot of bullshit on it. And shout out to my family, Rini, John, Ella, and that's all I could think of right now.
And shouts out to Sheldon and Cease and Desist Productions, and this is the Archivist and R.A. the Rugged Man, and you've been archived.
Cool.